Welcome to Lingua Wire English A1. Today, we have two stories, robot imports and a Hong Kong activist in the UK. For help, see full transcripts and vocabulary at linguawire.com. Our first story is about robots and trade. The US has put a new ban on robot imports. Now we go to Chloe, our Lingua Wire correspondent for technology.
Yes, Daniel. The Trump administration announced the ban on Tuesday. It applies to new foreign-made humanoid robots. It also covers some four-legged robots.
So this is not only about one kind of robot. It is about a wider group of machines.
That is right. The government says these imports could create serious safety risks. It says they could be a risk for national security.
And many of these robots are made in China, right?
Yes. China is the biggest maker of humanoid robots in the world. It also competes with the US in robotics and AI.
That makes the move sound bigger than one trade rule. It is part of a race in new technology.
Exactly. The FCC also banned some power inverters. These are devices used in data centers and solar panels.
So the ban goes beyond robots. It reaches into other tech parts too.
Yes, and the FCC added these items to its covered list. That is a list of risky goods and services.
What does the ban change for people now?
It does not stop old models that were already approved, but it does stop new imports of the covered items.
And China has answered this move, I think.
The Chinese embassy in Washington said Beijing opposes this trade politics. It called the reasons weak and unfair.
So both sides are still arguing. But the new rule is now in place. Our second story is about a man, his family, and a border check. He was first stopped at Heathrow, then later allowed to stay. Now we go to Owen, our Lingua Wire correspondent for Society.
Yes, Daniel. The man is Wu Chi-wai. He is a former Hong Kong opposition leader. He arrived at London's Heathrow Airport last Wednesday.
And he had a very difficult start there. What happened at the airport?
He said he was held for nearly 10 hours. He was also first refused entry. Later, he said he could stay for only 1 week.
That is a very short stay. What changed after that?
On Monday, the UK Border Force approved his entry. It then gave him a standard stay of 6 months.
So the threat of deportation was no longer there. That is a major change for him and his family.
Yes. Who said his wife and son moved to the UK in 2022 and 2023. He said they had only monthly calls and letters since then.
He had hoped to meet them again in the UK. That hope was a big part of the story.
It was. Wu also said he asked British Consulate General Staff in Hong Kong about possible problems. He said he was told there would be none.
And he also has a very serious past case behind him. What should listeners know there?
He was one of the Hong Kong 47. That group was made up of pro-democracy leaders. Wu was released in June after over 5 years in prison.
So this is not just a travel story. It is also about a long legal and family problem.
Yes, and now he can stay in the UK for 6 months.
First, 3 words from story 2. Word, refused. It means said no to something. In the story, Wu was refused entry at the airport. Example, the shop refused my card. Word, approved. It means said yes officially. In the story, the UK Border Force approved his entry. Example, the teacher approved the plan. Word, stay. The time you can remain somewhere. In the story, he was allowed to stay for 6 months. Example, we will stay with my aunt. Now the grammar point, be allowed to. We use be allowed to when rules or officials give permission. Example, he was allowed to stay for 6 months. Example, they are allowed to enter the room. Repeat after me, was allowed to stay. Lingua Wire isn't only a podcast. Every day, the lead story becomes a personal language lesson in your classroom. Each lesson covers reading, vocabulary, grammar, writing, and listening, all built from today's real news story. Start today on linguawire.com.